Heard, who lost the case, is requesting a new trial. However, Depp's lawyers argued on Monday that she's presented no legitimate basis for a redo and that her motion verges on the frivolous. Johnny Depp vs. Amber Heard defamation case in Virginia became a 6-week obsession for millions of fans. Could we see them square off again in court? So watch on until the end to find out. Hello and welcome to another incredible video from our channel. We'll talk about how Johnny Depp's lawyers argue against Amber Heard's outlandish efforts to get a new trial in this video. Please subscribe to our channel and press the bell to avoid missing any of our future videos. Let's get this started. Depp's attorneys filed a 40-page brief obtained by USA Today in response to Heard's motion last week asking trial judge Penny Ascaret to vacate a June 1st verdict by a Fairfax County jury that found overwhelmingly in Depp's favor and awarded him more than $10 million in damages. Heard's lawyers want the judge to overturn the verdict and dismiss the case or order a new trial, calling it indefensible for a variety of reasons. She is also requesting a mistrial in a new demand filed on Friday, claiming that one of the jurors should not have been allowed to serve on the panel. In response, Depp's attorney stated that Heard's legal team failed to present compelling reasons for overturning the jury's decision or retrying the case. Mr. Depp respectfully requests that the court denies Ms. Heard's frivolous motion in its entirety and reject her ridiculous request to set aside the jury verdict, dismiss the complaint, or order a new trial, the Depp brief concluded. Depp's attorneys argued in their brief that though understandably dissatisfied with the outcome of the trial, Ms. Heard has identified no legitimate basis to set aside the jury's decision in any way. Virginia law states unequivocally that a verdict cannot be overturned unless it is plainly wrong or lacks evidence to support it. The brief goes on to argue that the verdict was legal and supported by overwhelming evidence. Whatever the judge decides, the legal battle between the two actors will continue, if not through a new trial, then through an appeal Heard is promised to file in Virginia. What happened during the defamation trial of Depp and Heard? The feud between the ex-couple stems from a December 2018 column she wrote for the Washington Post in which she claimed to be a victim of domestic abuse. However, it began in May 2016 during divorce proceedings in Los Angeles, when Heard obtained a temporary restraining order after accusing Depp of beating her before and after their 2015 marriage. By the end of the summer, the restraining order had been lifted, and the ex-couple had issued a loving settlement instead, implying that the matter had been settled amicably. Heard stated that she would give her $7 million settlement to a children's hospital and the ACLU. She then published her column more than 2 years later. Heard sued Depp for libel in Fairfax County, where the Post is published, in 2019, claiming that she defamed him, harmed his reputation and Hollywood career, and cost him millions of dollars in income losses, despite the fact that her column never mentioned him by name. Following the Fairfax verdict, Heard and her lawyers appeared on television to discuss the outcome and to criticize the judge's decision to rule some evidence inadmissible. Heard's lawyers Elaine Bredehoff claimed that the jury was swayed by lopsided social media commentary during the trial, which was overwhelmingly negative towards Heard, and thus the verdict was invalid. The Washington Post adds a note after Johnny Depp wins the libel trial. Amber Heard partially wins countersuit. There's no way it couldn't have influenced the jurors, Bredehoff said. One of the jurors, who wished to remain anonymous but was not sequestered, later told ABC News that that was not the case, that the jury followed the judge's orders not to read or listen to media reports, and that several members of the jury were not even on social media. Why is Amber Heard requesting a new trial? On July 4th, Heard's legal team filed a 53-page brief arguing that the verdict was unfair, inconsistent, and excessive, citing a variety of reasons, including the fact that Depp failed to present evidence of the required actual malice, and that what Heard wrote in her own column was true, and thus protected by the First Amendment. Heard's attorneys are also requesting a mistrial due to concerns about Juror 15's true identity, citing an age difference. According to Heard's team, the wrong person showed up for jury duty and was improperly vetted by the court and thus served illegally. Deeply troubling, says Amber Heard's attorney, who claims a juror was improperly served in Johnny Depp's defamation trial. As a result, Ms. Heard's due process right was jeopardized. Bredehoff discloses this in a new filing on July 8th. A mistrial should be declared in these circumstances and a new trial should be ordered. What are Johnny Depp's lawyers saying? Depp's lawyers argued in their brief that investigation into Juror 15 was misplaced, at least in part, because the Heard legal team failed to raise an objection about the juror at this time, leaving her right to challenge the accuracy of information about the jury panel selected. According to Virginia law, unless Heard can demonstrate that the irregularity was intentional, or that it would probably result in injustice, it cannot be grounds for setting aside a verdict or ordering a new trial, Depp's lawyers argued. The Depp brief argued that Ms. Heard has shown no evidence of prejudice, and thus her belated argument regarding Juror 15 should be rejected by the court. Depp's attorneys also claim that Heard missed a deadline for filing post-trial motions. Despite what she said in post-trial interviews, Heard's brief made no mention of social media influencing the jury, nor did it mention the judge's rulings that notes from Heard's therapy sessions in which she discussed Depp's alleged abuse were ruled admissible as hearsay. That's all we have for now. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please share it and subscribe to our channel for more fun. See you in the next video.